Good morning and welcome to another day of exercise at home. Now those of you that are working from home have been sitting in a chair like this for many hours by now. So what today is about is what can I do to ensure the rest of my body is woken up by ensuring that my foot health is great. So many of you who work with me already know that we use these domes that are called Hedgehogs or foot wakers. They stimulate the proprioceptors of your feet. Now, for me, I fell in love with them after an accident 18 months ago where I broke my foot, and this helped me get things back in line. And now I don't notice any difference between my left and right foot. We have some clients who've been coming to us for a while, but they might have been recovering from surgery, for example, a knee reconstruction. And we find that working with the feet, which is definitely related to your knee, to your hips, therefore to the rest of your body. So we're starting from the bottom up today. I'm also introducing a new theme in this time of social isolation, where we can't travel, where we bring a little country theme to each class. So you might hear a little bit of a jangle, because I'm very fortunate that due to my job I get to travel to many countries. And my most recent trip before the time where airplane travel is not possible, I went to India and I was able to purchase my favorite things, which is glass bangles. So let's just think we aren't the only people affected by this virus in the world. Today, work on our feet, but just let your mind go a little bit to some astral travel of your favorite country where you might go once you can get on a plane. So first thing, we're gonna cat curl or cat paddle our feet over the domes so that I can introduce you to the terminology of all the different parts of your feet. So here we are with our feet flexed and the back of my heels are on the domes. So press forward a little bit. In doing this work where we're not standing, we're not having to take our own body weight. So put the heels, waking up those proprioceptors. But in your heels, you have an outside of your heels, a middle part of the back part of your heels, and the medial part of the back part of your heels. I'm going to do that a couple more times. Watch what happens to my legs. When I'm on the medial, my knees come together. So that actually helps me engage my medial hamstrings. Then when I go to the middle part of the back part of my heels, I feel the bigger middle hamstrings engage a little bit. When I go to the outside, I feel more of my lateral rotating muscles and the lateral hamstrings. Still very aware of my pelvic floor and my abdominals, that my ribs sit vertically over my hips. So good posture is what I'm aiming for. And then we come back to the middle. Then there is another part of your heel, which is the middle part of your heel. So let's go to the middle part of your heel, in the middle. Lean forward and press, but this time I want you to flex your toes up as much as you can. Wake them up. Wake them up so that those toes are pointing to the ceiling and they're doing their own little dance. I'm emulating with my fingers. So you want to be able to play the piano scales with your fingers and your hands. Concept really, it would be very hard to do, but our aim is to get there. And reach forward so that the balls of your feet touch down onto the mat, then all toes. Let's try and see if we can spread out all toes. Now we've all got different shaped feet, different length toes. Some have beautifully long toes, some have shorter ones, some have toes that go in different directions. And this work is trying to help you to keep them go straight forward, not bend up because they're stressed, having been enclosed in shoes for too many years. So I want you to lengthen out through your big toe, lengthen out through the second toe, lengthen out through the third, fourth and fifth. Get to know, what are your toes doing? Is one toe rotating around a little bit? If so, reach forward and straighten it out. So for each of your toes, you're going to pull them out. Now I know there's some of you out there that are very prone to cracking your knuckles. Not a good idea actually, but it does give you that sense of length. Get out any of those sort of like
crystals forming in your joints. Pull the toes away, lengthen them. Spreading out the little toe in particular. And push down. Push your fingers down into your toes. And then lengthen out that medial border of the arch of your foot. Lengthen it. Now see if you can pull your big toe a little more and press it down. Press, 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 press. Pull the inside of your arch back towards the domes, and then two hands lengthening back one heel, lengthening back the other heel, and push your heel down into the dome. It might hurt a little bit, you might feel like you're a bit of a pincushion, and push it down, and then push the other side down. Really push it down. We don't often get blood flow into our heels. You'll notice that heels tend to get a little bit harder and neglected. The skin hardens. Need the circulation to get in there. And now, leaving them where they are, spread the toes. Take your nose to your knees. Activate your pelvic floor and roll up and stack one vertebra at a time. Deep breath in to the side and the back of your ribs. And exhale, curl your toes off the mat, the balls of your feet. Lengthen your heels back as if you're pulling the domes towards you. And now we're going to move to the front part of the middle heel. The front part of the middle heel. And we're going to lengthen the arch over the domes. Try and place the balls of your feet onto the floor and then all toes. Spread out your little toes, a bit harder here. So this is why we need to use our hands. Lengthen out the toes. I want to curl, I want to do all sorts of funny things. It's not a laughing matter, it's a fixing matter. Push down as you curl up. Can you all feel how your hamstrings are working? That's what we need, hamstrings to support us so that we're not relying too much on these hip flexors at the front when we sit for lengths of time. Now, pull your heels back towards you and move to the ball of your foot. Now this is just a quick, fast-track 15-minute workout. Believe me, we could spend a whole hour to 2 hours working on our feet. Now with the balls of the feet, we get a little bit more sensation through the inner thighs. If you cannot feel any activation in your adductors, bring your mind to that part of your body and will it to engage. So you lift up. Now in this position, you don't want to see a heel poking through. You want the arch of your feet to work. So you ask the outside of your heel to go to the side so that you've got your heels in line with the ball of your foot. Now that will make you work a little bit more in the adductors. Is that correct? Good. And in this position, I'm hoping you feel work underneath the back of your hamstrings. At the outside, little more work through the adductors, but your arches of your feet, are they working? Really need to know that that's what's happening with everybody. And now, like you push your ball of your foot down into the toes and lengthen your heel back to make your foot longer. Lengthen the heel back. And you might need to move a little bit more forward on the chair, because if your hamstrings are working, you'll feel them digging into the chair. And take your hand down and pull your heel back and press your forefoot into the dome. To the other dome, lengthen your heel back. It's called foot growing. Toe lengthening. It's like being on the rack, but more pleasant. And now those of you that have worked with me in the studio, you know we're very much about letting every single toe have its claim to fame on the top of the dome. So here we go. Take the foot back a little bit, lengthen the heel, place it on the floor. Take the foot back a bit, lengthen the heel, put it on the floor. Push down into the dome, so lift yourself up a little bit. Push the balls of your feet into the domes and sit down. Now slide the toes back so you can go right up onto your demi point and lengthen the heel down. Slide it back and down. So now we've got more just the base of the metatarsals, which is the beginning of the bones of your foot at the edge of the dome, and your toes flexed up like that. Now, depending on the length of your toes or the flexibility in your joints, it'll be different for everyone. And so I want you to focus on your big toe being on the top of the dome. The rest will just be working their way down the edge. We'll get to them later. So press down from your mind to the toes. But if they won't behave, they're curling out to the side, or they're getting a little what we call hammer toe, a little curl up because the tendons is really tight underneath, you can use your fingers to put them in line. Now, I am a bit of a convert. I've spent a lot of my time learning a lot about my feet and training with a wonderful woman called Yamanazaki, who has revolutionized the use of these domes. And I can't tell you how beneficial it is to pay this much attention to your feet every day. And the older clients that I work with who end up wearing orthotics or hobbling around, when they buy a set of these and have them in their kitchens or by their beds and do this every day, tell me they don't have the pain they used to have. So really, really worthwhile. And you can feel the knuckle underneath your big toe pressing into the ball. That's what we want. So we just chat a bit to take your mind off the pain. That's all I'm doing. Now we're going to move to the second toe. So spread out the third toe and the first toe. Move the first toe out of the way, the third toe. It's just the second toe. So spend some time lengthening it, pushing it down. Lengthen the arch of your foot away towards your heel. So everything comes back this way except the second toe. Your second toe presses down. Second toe presses down. 10, 9, 8. Only think of second toe. It's all you have. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Now we come to the third toe. Separate out your fourth and your second toe away. Some of you will notice that your toes, the blood flows into it, or the blood runs away from it, so it gets white. But as soon as you take the pressure off, you notice the blood flows into it again. So keep the toe from twisting, because by the time we get to the third toe, you notice that the phalanges, which are the toes, they tend to, well, they're small fine bones, they tend to twist a bit. So lengthen your heel back towards you. That means pull it this way, towards you in the chair. And we're going to do the 10-second rule. Press, 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 third toe. Don't let it curl up like a little flower. Let it bloom like a large rose. Lengthen it. Or think of a fern frond, opening up and lengthening. Toes lengthen, heels come back this way. Press it for the last 3, 2, 1. Release. Now we go to the little guy. 4. Now, my experience tells me that toe number 4 is the most errant toe of all. It loves to do a little hook curl, because it gets a little bit too much work, because we tend to not work our little toe. So number 4, send it some love. Tough love. Push it to the floor. Let it work. Got to separate that little toe. Separate toe 3. Really push the baby into the floor. Come on, you don't need to twist and curl. Straight up love. Up and down. Press with your fingers if you need to, but you'll notice if you sit up and you think of lengthening your toe away like the uncurling frond of a fern, you look down and that's fine, but after a nanosecond of not paying attention to it, it curls up again. Lengthen it. It's like lengthen. Lengthen your hands, lengthen your spine, lengthen your feet. Heel back towards you, toes that way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more toe to go. So then we come to the little baby pinky. Pinkies, along with big toes, they tend to go in varying directions that are not always straightforward. So a little pressing in. And I reckon if I asked all of you who are watching today, how many of you have stubbed your little toe, potentially broken it, and the poor guy has to come back in to line with the others on its own accord, because there's not much you can do about a broken little toe. Check that the fourth toe hasn't crept into its twisted position. Now we've got 6 more counts. You feel more of the weight also on the outside bone of your foot, which is your 5th metatarsal. Keep it pressing down to the floor and into the dome. Press it, lengthen the little toe, press it down, press it, press it, press it, press it. Sit up tall, open the chest. No excuse for bad posture. Lifting through the abdominals, press it, lengthen your heel back towards you with the activity of your inner thigh muscles. And relax. And now I'm going to ask you to step away from the domes. Make sure you engage your abdominals and pelvic floor and stand up away from your mat. And just close your eyes and observe. Do I feel that I have a whole 5 toes, that I've got a nice spread out balls of my feet, and my heels are light? Many times if we don't use our feet and they're stuck in shoes, we tend to sink our weight down onto our heels and engage these hip flexor muscles to hold our pelvis. So we're lifting up off our pelvis because we can use our feet more. One more stretch down on our stools or chairs is one that I find many of my clients do not like, and that is to stretch out the front part of the foot. So I'm going to ask you to point your foot, imagine you're a ballerina, and you place it back. Hold onto the edge of your chair firmly and place the other foot back. And the more that you can take your feet back and lean, the greater the stretch in the front of your ankles. We're going to take 3 deep breaths in here. Breathe in, open the chest. Exhale and curl a little. Inhale and exhale. Keep opening up that front of your ankle joint. Inhale and exhale. Slide the left foot forward. Place it on the top of the dome with the outside of your foot on it. Take the other foot and place it on the dome. Now this isn't just hanging out with pleasure, is it? Nope. This is the most crucial of our metatarsal bones. This is the 5th metatarsal. And next time we do some footwork, I'm going to bring my mate Stanley in here and show you exactly where the 5th metatarsal is. So it's the outside bone, but what happens is when this part of the foot meets this part of the foot, there is a little joint, so a joint. And so when I take a step in an ideal gait, the outside of my foot goes down, then I come across to toe 5 and 4, and then all the way across to the others, and then place the whole foot down, ready to go into the rest of the walking cycle. But if I just slap my foot down like this, if I slap, 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 I am not using my metatarsal correctly. So a good gait cycle is the outside of your heel, outside of your foot, 5th toe, 4th toe, through, and then the whole foot. And then I push off with the other leg, which uses my glutes and my hamstrings and my calf muscle. I go into this mid stance,
Let my pelvis roll and rotate. Flex the other leg, put the outside down. The fifth and fourth, roll forward, weight down, push off with the back leg, and so on. And unfortunately, many of us have forgotten the art of walking. And so if your calves are weak, your hamstrings are weak, your glutes are weak, your balance in your lateral glutes is weak, it's going to affect how you walk, which affects how you use your feet, which contributes to them getting stiff and bracing against walking. And then the cycle is, just is a cycle. So that was my long way of saying, put up with this pain for just a couple of minutes, it's going to be good for you. So when we do more advanced work, we do this standing, and that even feels a little more painful. So it's just resting down onto this. And you can do this with a round spiky ball. I'm trying to think what else you might have in your homes that's painful enough. You could do it with a tennis ball, but it needs to be something that can really resist the pressure of tensioned muscles. If you're feeling you've got the courage to do this, you can push down a little bit, rock your toe forward and back, and forward and back. That will put a bit more pressure, but it will make your blood flow a little more intense because of the pain. But believe me, the more you do this, the less painful it gets. It's right on the side, you push forward, lengthening the toes, bring it back, forward and back. And then roll off that right onto the arches of your feet. Slide your body weight forward and put your hands, palms facing up and your elbows on your knees. And while we put that weight down through our legs with our hands, we're going to stretch our wrists. This is called the down stop. Bring your hands up through your fifth, fourth, third, second thumb, around, flex, and then first finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to an up stop. Keep open through your collarbones, draw your shoulder blades down, and then we go pinky, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fist, rotate, down stop. Pinky start, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fist, rotate, and flex, up stop. And we're going to go pinky, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fist, down stop, pinky, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up stop, down stop, up, down, stop, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, roll up, coming up, off the domes, inhale. As we stand up and finish this segment, I want you to stand, observe how light your feet feel. And if you can actually even stand a little taller, take a nice deep breath in and honor yourself to practice this every day. Thank you.